There's a quiet pressure in our world today that almost nobody escapes. The pressure to prove yourself, to fit in, to build an image strong enough, impressive enough, polished enough to convince the world that you matter. And the more we try to keep up, the more exhausted we become. Because identity built on performance never stops demanding more. But then Scripture speaks into that noise with a truth strong enough to break every false label we've ever carried. 1 Peter 2:9 says, "You are a chosen people, God's special possession. Not might be, not hope to be, you are." That means before you ever succeeded, before you ever failed, before the world handed you a category or a reputation or a number to define yourself by, God had already spoken something better over you. He said you belong to Him. He said you were wanted. He said you were chosen. Not because you earned it, not because you impressed Him, but because His heart moved towards you long before you even knew His name. This is the identity the world can't give you and absolutely cannot take away from you. And think about how freeing that actually is. When your identity is rooted in God, you don't crumble when people misunderstand you. You don't chase approval like you're starving for it. You don't measure your worth by how well you're performing today, because your worth wasn't built on performance in the first place. It was built on grace. This verse reminds us that God didn't call you to blend in with the expectations around you. He called you to stand in the identity that He gave you. Loved, chosen, known. Set apart for something bigger than yourself. Not because you're trying to become someone, but because in Him you already are. So the next time the world tries to tell you who you are or who you're not, remember, your identity was settled by God Himself. You don't have to fight for worth. You don't have to invent a version of yourself that will finally be accepted. You don't have to chase a place to belong. You already have one. You're His, and that is the kind of identity you can live from, breathing and walk confidently into the world with. Because it comes from the one who never changes.